Welcome to round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda from beautiful Virginia International Raceway here in the rolling hills of Alton, Virginia. My name is Matt Tarleton and I'm joined in the booth by Anthony Downs, ALMS LMPC driver.
Hey Matt, happy to be here.
Round 11, which took place earlier in the weekend, was won by Tristan Nunez in his car number 16 vehicle, followed by Richard Fant, Ferrari of Houston entry, and an impressive podium finish by Jim Garrett of Eurosport Racing. Ryan Booth did finish in second place, but was unclassified. In the L2 class, Miguel Benitez of ANSA Motorsports claimed the top spot, followed by Scott Tucker of Level 5 and Alan Wilzig of Wilzig Racing. The championship battle shapes up with Tristan Nunez and Mikhail Golickberg still battling it out for the L1 class overall victory, followed by four competitors in L1 Masters class being led by John Brownson. L2 is down to Alan Wilzig and Scott Tucker, very close, and Alan Wilzig has already claimed the top spot in L2 Masters. So while we have a moment, let's go down into the paddock and hear from Tristan Nunez. Hi, we're here with Tristan Nunez, who is this round's Cooper Tires Pole Award winner. Tristan, fantastic racing out there. You've really picked up on Virginia International Raceway quite well. Any secrets to this track? How quickly did it take you to pick it up?
Actually, more than most tracks, it took me a little while to get it picked up. But yeah, this track's really hard on the body because there's a lot of G-force corners. So yeah, just getting used to all the braking zones and everything was a little tough because this team hasn't been here before and we had to get a setup put on the car. So it was a bit of a challenge, but we got through it.
What would you say are the toughest turns at this track?
Toughest turns. Turn 1 is definitely a technical corner because it's a heavy braking corner. You don't think you can go that deep, but you actually can. Then it gets loose at the exit. So it's turn 1, I think, is the most difficult on the track.
Another question might be, since this is a very high-speed track, what kind of speeds are you turning on the back stretch?
I haven't seen the data yet, but it seems pretty damn fast.
Well, congratulations once again. Tristan Nunez of Performance Tech, the Cooper Tires pole winner for Virginia International Raceway.
Awesome job, Tristan. Another pole position for Tristan this year. He has had just about a perfect season. Great job for him, man. Very good.
As the cars are rolling out here, getting ready to go around on the pace lap and going to be taking the checker flag as they're warming their tires. Make sure you check in and follow IMSA Lights on Facebook and on Twitter. And Anthony, let's take a look at this very, very interesting track configuration here at Virginia International Raceway. You know, Virginia International Raceway is a historic track. It opened in 1957 and it closed for a few years. The first race in 1957 had such entrants as Carroll Shelby, Carl Haas, Bob Holbert, and one of your buddies, Augie Pabst.
That's awesome.
So let's take a look at the track configuration here. If you would give us a few pointers and then lead us through a track lap.
Well, first of all, this track is long. There are so many corners. It took me a long time when I was out here to get used to it and to remember all of the tracks. But if we can go along here with Tristan coming around the front straight, you can see there's a little bend to it. And as you come up here to what's called the horseshoe, corner 1, it's a great braking opportunity. Heavy braking here. If you can get your car to the inside of the car in front of you, you'll have the position on them all the way through here. This brings you up to what they call the NASCAR bend, and it's a very difficult corner because if you watch here, he's braking and turning at the same time and he's got to collect the car. Very difficult, very tough to get that right as Tristan did there. This leads you up to what they call the snake. Coming right here is very important to make sure that you get all over these curbs in order to straight line this so you can keep the car flat. This is a bit of a straight. It doesn't look straight, but when you're on full throttle, it's a straight. So this brings them into the S's. These are very fast. The downforce really helps through here, and you're getting compressed going all the way up the hill, and then you've got a blind left here. It's called the South Bend, which leads you up to another possible passing opportunity as you heavy brake into this beautiful corner known as the Oak Tree. I think you can probably figure out why. Very important to get on the gas there as Tristan did and just had beautiful car control, if I may say. You go all the way through the gears here, and this is a good time, you know, to check everything out, and also a good time to get a draft and pass someone as you come up here to what's called the roller coaster. And if you look, it's called a roller coaster because you're going up and down and right and left. And in the car, it honestly does feel like a roller coaster. It is a trip, I'll tell you what. As you watch Tristan here with always working on the steering wheel, the car kind of gets away from you. That brings us all the way through up to corner 17, which brings you back onto the front straight, and that is a lap of VIR. Very well done by Tristan.
Thank you, Anthony. That was a great track description there, and loved watching Tristan really fight that wheel. As we're coming around under the Mazda pace car, as the pack is coming out from roller coaster, heading down to turn 17, getting all nice and grouped up, ready for this start of this wonderful race here at the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, from VIR for round 12. I think this is going to be a really exciting race. Round 11 was surely exciting, that's for sure.
Yep. Can't wait to see this. Hopefully they can get a clean start here and make sure everybody gets through the first lap.
So here we go. Car number 16, Tristan Nunez, and it is green flag here at Virginia International Raceway for round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda. And immediately, Tristan out and Richie Holt looking to the inside of Richard Fant. Ryan Booth slots back into the third position, and this is really grouped up here with these L1 cars at the front. You know, spec series, these cars are all running the same car configurations, tires, engines. It is really down to the drivers, and they're grouped up, but Tristan's trying to pull his trademark pull out of here, and he's trying to go ahead and put some seconds on second place.
Yeah, and watch these guys as they're real aggressive over these curbs. These cars are very low to the ground, but you can use these curbs, and you almost have to if you want to be competitive here.
Yeah, immediately you can see Tristan's already got several car length lead on Richard Fant, the Ferrari of Houston entry, as they're going up through the S's. And Tristan, he's great on cold tires. He's going to go ahead and pull out as large of a lead as he can, as you can tell, which he is doing. Ryan Booth is hounding Richard Fant.
Oh, look at that. Almost pulled out on him. I thought he might have give it a shot there, but it looks like he's trying to set him up on this back straight. We'll see if he can slip under him here and make a pass.
You know, one important note about, and we got a car off the back. That's is that Mikhail Goldberg?
I couldn't tell.
That's going to really, hopefully he didn't do any damage to that front end, but that's one thing about VIRs. This is a one-line track, so it's very hard to make passes, and also you can run off the track. Ooh, a little bit of a bump. One important thing to note about number 18 car of Ryan Booth is Ryan Booth is running as Scott Tucker's off the track and into the tire wall. I wonder how this happened.
I can't tell where that is. Looks like
he's up in Oak Tree, or just before Oak Tree. He's up there.
Yep.
Maybe just understeer, maybe. And you know, one thing I mentioned about spec classes earlier. You know, this L1 car is a Mazda-powered spec car that it's very easy to tell which car it is by the air intake to the left-hand side of the driver's cockpit, and also the L2 cars, which you just saw there with Scott Tucker. They're a little bit smaller cars. They run a Kawasaki ZX-10 engine, and they have a higher-pitched engine note on track. Easy way to identify them.
Yeah, it's great to see them running together. It looks like Scott got going again. That's good. He's been showing some great speed here this weekend, and we'll see if he can work his way back through the field and pick off some of those other L2 cars. As you remember, he is in the points battle.
Well, with that little mishap by Scott Tucker, the number 14 L2 car of Miguel Benitez inherits the lead in the L2 class. And Miguel Benitez winning round 11. He's obviously a great driver here at VIR and great driver in general, fast. Everybody's keeping their tires warm. We're coming around here, hopefully going to get us a restart here in just a second.
Yeah, it didn't look like they had much to clean up, so hopefully they can bunch up, and I'm sure that's not what Tristan wanted to see, as he had already developed a bit of a lead. And but look here, at Booth had just made that pass, so it looks like he made that before the yellow came out.
You know, one thing I was mentioning before Scott Tucker went off track there is that Ryan Booth in the number 18 car, he's running unclassified, and that's because of not making an engine change from last year's engine to this year's. And we are green flag racing here again at VIR, and Tristan immediately gets a jump, and Richard Fant looking to the inside of Ryan Booth.
Great start. Let's hope that they can all get through again. This becomes a bottleneck. As you see this track, it looks very narrow, and trust me, when you're in a car, it feels very narrow, especially when you're trying to make a pass. So it's good that they got through that corner one, as it can bottleneck very quickly, especially on a restart.
And Danny Mancini's all over the back of number 14, Miguel Benitez. He's running for that L1 Masters Class Championship, trying to get as many points as he can. So he's up there trying to get up around Jim Garrett, and he's going to try to get moved up in the classification. So Let's take a short break and let's see here, just after the restart, how these cars shake out. Will Tristan Nunez be able to win another one? Round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda. We'll be right back. Welcome back to round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, here from beautiful Virginia International Raceway. Tristan Nunez continues to lead, followed by the unclassified car of Ryan Booth. Second place in L1 is Richard Fant, the number 44 Ferrari of Houston car, followed in fourth by Richie Holt and Miguel Benitez. L2 car is in the top spot of the L2 class, but is actually running fifth overall. Tristan is out in front by 0.794 seconds over Ryan Booth and 2.623 over Richard Fant.
On the screen, I don't know if you caught that, Matt, the Mikhail Goikhberg in the 10 car just passed by Owen Kratz and Lamont Harris in consecutive corners, and it looks like he's charging.
Yeah, he had a big off there at the beginning of the race coming around Oak Tree, and really dropped him pretty far back in the classification. So Mikhail's got to fight his way back up. The way the points are shaking out right now is if Tristan wins this race and Mikhail does not finish on the L1 podium, then Tristan will actually clinch the L1 championship after today's race here, round 12. Now, remember one thing. The black and red number 18 car that we are looking at right now here on the screen shows as unclassified. They did not make the engine change in this car from last year's spec to this year's spec, so this car cannot get points in L1. As we see Goikhberg coming around the outside of Mancini, he's going to really push this because he's got to get on that overall L1 podium to stay alive as he's running over the curves around Mancini.
Wow, he's lucky that he didn't take out him and Danny Mancini there, but he picked up another spot, and he is charging, and Tristan is doing his part in leading this race. That's all he can do, is just put his nose down, drive hard, and win this race, and then hope, everything else works out for him.
Yeah, and we see the number 14 car of Miguel Benitez. He is still running in first place there of the L2 classification. Remember, L2 cars are a little bit smaller. They don't have that air intake to the left-hand side of the driver cockpit. Good way to point those out there on track to distinguish between the L1 and the L2 cars. Again, Jim Garrett 42 car, Mikhail's up on him, and it's really getting competitive out here. We talk about races within the race. Mikhail's got to come up through the field, and he's got to come up through some of these battles, especially with the Masters class back here in this classification.
Yeah, and it shows Jim is sixth overall there, but the car in front of him is an L2, so that won't count for Mikhail if he's going for up into the podium. So that pass that hopefully he can get done here on Jim Garrett to keep his championship hopes alive, it will count, but the next car won't.
Yeah, and Lamont Harris has spun. Coming out of roller coasters, Lamont Harris has spun off to the inside of the track. That's going to drop him back in the classification. And again, that's a car Mikhail doesn't have to deal with to try to get up on the L1 overall podium. Looks like Lamont's back on the track. No damage, no harm, no foul. Of course, you never can tell what's happened mechanically in there.
Yeah, it looks like he just dipped two wheels off on the outside, and you lose traction on those wheels, and you bring it right back to the inside. It's a classic. Oh,
Richie Holt goes off to the inside. Maybe he overcooked it coming around turn 3 there, and hopefully he didn't do any damage to his car. But this is, it's going to keep these cars bunched up. I mean, you see the 14 car of Miguel Benitez, Holt, Goikhberg, Garrett, Mancini, Kratz.
Look at him.
Scott Tucker's coming up on the back with 33 minutes left.
This looks like a pace lap. They're so close.
Yeah, they are really going after each other. So while we have a moment, let's talk to the 29 driver, Richie Holt, for round 12's driver profile. Hi, we're here with Richie Holt of Performance Tech for this round's driver profile. Richie, where are you from?
Davie, Florida.
And what brought you to the IMSA lights, prototype lights powered by Mazda?
Basically the car style, cost of this type of a professional racing series, and that's pretty much it,
Now, you're an older gentleman. You race in the Masters class as well as the overall championship. Tell us a little bit more about the Masters class.
The Masters class is for, I believe, 40 and above. We're on our own point systems. We run for our own championship inside the series. Plus, we run with the main series also, so there's a chance anybody can be in a Masters and still be in the points chase for the whole series.
Well, one of the things we always talk about in the broadcast is the race within the race. The Masters class is kind of a championship within the overall championship. We like to watch you guys fight for that Masters class battle. Is the competition level with prototype lights one of the things that attracted you here?
Oh, for sure. It's the competition is so good, and it's so close, and I'm just having a fantastic time running this series this year.
Now, you mentioned the budget of the cars earlier. The budget of the cars being as reasonable as it is that something that allows teams to really explore a highly competitive racing option like the Cooper Tires prototype lights powered by Mazda?
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to get a car that can perform how it does for the type of money you're spending. There's no comparison, because I've driven GT cars and the price comparison for the type of car it is, there's no comparison at all.
Thank you very much. Richie Holt with Performance Tech.
Thank you to Richie Holt, member of the Masters division here in the L1 category. The Masters division is for drivers that are 40 years and older, but don't let that number 40 fool you at all. These guys are fast, and they are just as competitive as any other driver out there, and they really spice up the Prototype Lights series. I mean, they give us numbers, and they're highly competitive. It's great to be out there racing with them.
As you see, Owen Kratz right here going around the number 5 car of Scott Tucker. These guys are not afraid to mix it up. And Scott Tucker is no slouch of a driver. I mean, he's a fantastic driver, runs a LMP2 car in the ALMS series, and he's quite a fantastic L2 driver. Owen Kratz out there just mixing it up with him. So it's great to have this Masters class battle going on. And we talk about the races within the race. The Masters class right now is the most competitive class we have running here at VIR this weekend. L1 classification is really kind of the Mikhail Goekberg and Tristan Nunez and Ryan Booth really kind of checking out at the front. But the Masters class mixes it up constantly, and it's fantastic to watch these guys go at it as we see L1 and L2 mixing it up right here with Owen. And we have Jim Garrett. Jim has spun off there at turn 3 and back
got
over
it going
the curve.
again.
So looks like no harm, no foul. Don't see any damage there. So looks like he should be pretty good.
And that's, if you remember in the track analysis, that's one of those spots where you are braking and turning at the same time, and it's such a difficult thing in these cars. They want to brake in a straight line. And so once your tires start to go and maybe you're getting a little fatigued in the heat and you get it just a little bit wrong, you can just go off very easily. But I'm glad to see that he was able to continue.
As we're watching the leader, number 16, Tristan Nunez, coming down through the roller coaster, getting ready to put another lap in the books here. We are approaching the 27-minute mark remaining, and yes, we are at 26:53 as Tristan Nunez is coming across the line to complete another lap in first place, followed by Ryan Booth running second on track, but he is unclassified because of not making that engine change. And Owen Kratz running 7th place in the Ferrari of Houston entry. Fantastic to see those guys out here. And in L2, Scott Tucker is now the leader. He's passed number 14, Miguel Benitez. So Scott Tucker now leading the L2 class after that early in the round incident where he oversteered or simply just overcooked it a little bit on cold tires and went off into the tire wall there right before Oak Tree.
Yeah, this is great to watch this L2 battle. Both these drivers are very, very fast, and they are having a battle within a battle here. It's great to see a change for the lead because so far Tristan has not allowed that to happen in the L1 class, so it looks like the L2 class is where all the action's at as far as the lead goes.
And for the keen viewer out there, you'll see that the all-black L2 car of Scott Tucker has a different wing arrangement. It's actually a whole different aerodynamic kit that is new for 2012 in the L2 class, and Benitez is running the previous year's aerodynamic kit, so there is probably some aerodynamic advantages there, but I think we'll see a lot of big changes for West race cars here in the future, especially with the recent announcement that Scott Tucker has, and Miguel Benitez. Aero kit might make no difference as Benitez takes the lead back from Scott Tucker there, going through the S's.
This is a great battle. I love to see it. This is so close. We'll see if he can. And there's another. He dives in on him, and a little bit of contact, and Scott Tucker takes back the lead. This is great stuff.
Absolutely. Scott Tucker, one of the new owners of West Race Cars. That announcement was recently made that Mr. Tucker has made a substantial investment into the prototype lights by getting involved with West Race Cars and buying out that manufacturer of these L2 cars. And it looks like they're going to have a big L2 category next year. So let's continue to watch this L2 battle. Can Scott Tucker hold off Miguel Benitez for the lead of L2? Can Tristan Nunez pull out another one? This is getting exciting, folks. You don't want to miss the last 24 minutes of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda from Virginia International Raceway. And we're back to racing here at Virginia International Raceway for round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. We've got Jim Garrett, number 42, off for another agricultural excursion. He's mowing the grass a bit more. You know, it was one of the things Brent O'Neill told me from Performance Tech was that he pulled enough grass out of these cars to feed a small herd of cows, which was quite a good chuckle there in the paddock. So,
yeah. Looks like he's back going again. He is bringing some grass on the track, and that's one thing I wanted to say is that when you go off on this track, as you see, there's gravel and grass everywhere. So as people make these little steps off the track, they bring on gravel and grass, and as the race progresses, you're going to see more and more of that, more and more people going off because of it, and it's one of the characteristics of this track.
Yeah, it just becomes a never-ending cycle. The more dirt and debris you get on the track, the more you go off, the more you bring back on, the more you get off. So, and we got some great runoff areas here, but unfortunately, some of the areas, this is kind of a one. And as we see, Mikhail Goetberg, the number 10 car, he has fully spun it. Earlier in the race, he was kind of off and back on around Oak Tree, but this looks like a full spin. This is going to put him way back in the classification to battle back up through again.
He's got the car moving, which is good. It looks like he's a ways off. As I said earlier, these cars are really low to the ground, and they don't like bumps.
Oh, and he hit several there.
Hopefully this doesn't damage his suspension. He needs to finish well in order to stay in the championship hunt. So it's a big blow to him, but I'm glad to see he's running again.
Yeah, he's got to finish on the L1 podium. If not, and Tristan Nunez wins, then Tristan Nunez can clinch the championship. So with these last 18 minutes, it's going to get down to the wire here right at the very end.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see how hard Mikhail is pushing, going off a couple times, which is not very characteristic of him. Throughout the year, he's been very consistent, very, very dependable as far as keeping the car together and keeping on the track.
And again, we see the L2 battle with the L1 silver car of Owen Kratz in front, followed by the number 5 of Scott Tucker and the number 14 of Miguel Benitez. This L2 battle up at the front, it's that race within the race, this battle for overall lead in this classification. Miguel Benitez is doing a fantastic job as Scott Tucker cuts to the inside of Owen Kratz, locks it up a little bit.
And he made it work. Nice pass. Now there's a car in between, and Miguel is going to want to get around as soon as possible. And when you come up to this section of the track, it's a one-lane race course, Matt. You can't go and pass anybody here. You can maybe do it at this section, but it's really dangerous. I mean, when you've got the car at 10 tenths and using all the downforce, full throttle around these corners, there is absolutely no way to make a pass.
Yeah, Miguel Benitez having Owen Kratz in front of him right now, that is not going to do him any bit of good. Scott Tucker is going to use Owen Kratz to distance himself. And Benitez pushing too hard, spins it right before Oak Tree, but it looks like he's got it back going again. Just that's a real disappointment for him.
Shoot, yeah, they were having such a good battle. And it looks like he just was turning again, as I said earlier, and braking. And it's such a delicate deal, especially in that heavy brake zone there heading up to the Oak Tree.
Well, that is definitely going to give Scott Tucker some buffer here to work with. He's going to be able to increase his L2 lead, and he definitely can't put it on cruise control, but he can be a little bit more comfortable with the lead he's got now.
Very glad to see that. And it's going to be a battle now for Miguel to get back up there. He could really use a caution. That would help him out a bunch here.
Yeah, as we see the 6th place car of Owen Kratz coming across the line, it's great to see the Ferrari of Houston entry out here. He did great in round 11 and doing a wonderful job here in round 12, and his teammate number 44 of Richard Fant is still up in 3rd place, doing a fantastic job. One thing, and I say 3rd place, but I gotta remember that Ryan Booth, who is 2nd place on track in an L1 car, is technically running unclassified because he did not make that engine change. So Fant is 3rd place as it runs on the track, but he is 2nd place in the L1 classification.
Exactly.
So, just in case anybody gets a little bit confused by that, it's that's how that all shakes out.
I got to say, great job to Richard Fant. We've talked about him if you guys have been following us all year. He's one of those guys that's been in the series for a couple years, and he is progressively getting faster and faster and faster. Him and his teammate Owen, who we just saw, have a terrific driver coach in Anthony Lazzaro, and you sports car fans will remember that name. He's raced about everything that there is to race on this continent. And Richard Fant is turning lap times in the 49s, and him and Booth and Tristan are the only 3 cars on track to get that fast. So hats off to him. He's really showing that he's picking up valuable speed and information on every track that he goes to.
And we see Mikhail Goekberg making his way back up through the classification after his spin. You know, he's got to make up several places, and he had just passed Danny Mancini, and Mancini runs a little wide here coming down through roller coaster, and Mikhail Goldberg gets by, takes 7th place.
Yeah, I'm sure that he was very happy to see that. It's much faster to pass a car when they're in the grass. So that's another spot for Mikhail. He's battling up.
Yeah, Mikhail crosses the start-finish line in 7th place. That's 7th place overall. So we've got to watch Mikhail get up there. He's got to be on that L1 podium to push this championship battle to Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. Yeah,
and I'm sure that his team is telling him on the radio, yep, Tristan's still leading. You got to push. You got to go. And I'm sure that Tristan is happy to hear that Mikhail is still back there. But we'll see. I think that Mikhail is showing great speed, and he's got a really good head on his shoulders. All he needs to do is just put his nose down, avoid attrition, and just turn consistent lap times, and I think that he'll catch back up. We got a lot of time yet.
Yeah, we got 12 minutes remaining in this battle. These timed races, this is a 45-minute timed race, just under 12 minutes remaining, and Tristan Nunez continues to lead. Tristan has been such a dominant factor in the prototype lights this year, as we see Mikhail Goekberg is up on Owen Kratz very quickly. Mikhail pushing it through Oak Tree. He's going to get right up behind Kratz, and he's going to try to get him through roller coaster and take over 6th place before he gets back to that start and finish line. He is really, the onus is really upon him right now. He has got to get moving.
Yeah, and this track does have some great passing opportunities, but it's such a long track that there are portions where you don't want to be stuck behind a slower car. And it looks like this roller coaster area is one of those that I'm talking about, where Mikhail's just going to have to set him up for a pass coming onto the front straightaway. He's going to have to take a little bit later apex maybe through turn 17 here, and then tuck up right behind him and get a draft. We'll see if he can do it.
Yeah, it looks like he's able to pull a little bit of draft. If he can't get him going up the straight, I think he's going to make that attempt down in Horseshoe. As we see here, Mikhail's looking to the inside, and maybe a little bit of a rub there, but
that could have been the championship right there.
Yeah, that if Mikhail had been taken out, he would have been done, and it would have been Tristan's championship.
Wow. Hats off to Owen. I just want to say Owen Kratz saw him coming, saw that he was maybe a little bit too deep into the brake zone, and Owen could have turned in, and I'm glad that he didn't, because both cars would have been out, I think. And now Owen's continuing on his way, and so is Mikhail.
Yeah, that was real heads up on the part of Owen Kratz, as Mikhail's got to get past the number 5 L2 classification leader, Scott Tucker, with almost 10 minutes remaining in this battle. Mikhail's got to push it, and he's got several spots to make up. And Scott Tucker, even though he's in an L2 car, different class, slightly slower class, Scott Tucker's not an easy guy to pass.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Scott is going for the championship as well. He wants to keep every car in between him and the next L2 car behind him. So, although I think Mikhail will get by him, there's nothing in the rule book that says that Scott Tucker needs to make it easy.
Yeah, that's the truth. As we watch Tristan Nunez making his way up through the S's, Tristan might see he's using a little bit less curb to get around this course here, and Tristan's not going to put it on cruise control, but I don't think he's going to make any unnecessary risky maneuvers around here with almost 9 minutes remaining in this battle. He needs to get first place for his championship hopes.
Yeah, and the thing is, the car behind him, the next car, he knows isn't a factor in the championship. And what Tristan needs to do now is just keep all 4 wheels on the track and just drive consistently. Even if, he takes a lap or second or 2 off his lap time, and let's say that Ryan Booth in the unclassified car does get around him, that's fine.
Yeah, and, Ryan Booth will not be taking any points away from Tristan. I'm sure that I wouldn't say that there's team orders in place, but I'm sure that Ryan Booth is not going to put Tristan in jeopardy at all, as Tristan's championship hopes are being extended here at Virginia International Raceway. The big question becomes, will Tristan Nunez take another victory here at VIR? Will Mikhail Golikberg make it up through the classification? This is the big thing we're going to have to watch here in the final 8 minutes of this round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda from Virginia International Raceway. Can Tristan pull it out? Can Mikhail make the podium? Join us back after the break and we'll find out. And we're back to green flag racing here at Virginia International Raceway for round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda, with number 16 Tristan Nunez continuing to lead as he comes around Oak Tree with a little under 7.5 minutes remaining in this race here for round 12 as he approaches lapping Jim Garrett, number 42 Eurosport racing car.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say hats off to Mr. Garrett for his first ever podium finish here yesterday. That's quite an achievement. He's one of the drivers that started out in the L2 category in this series and has moved up to the L1 this year. So every track that he goes to is a new experience, and he's just been getting faster and faster, and it's finally paid off for him.
Yeah, Jim, that was great for him to finish on the podium. Tristan is coming around turn 17, and he's going to get around Jim here and continue. He's going to put a lap down on Jim, but Tristan is currently 7.5 seconds. That would be really fast, 7.5 minutes. 7.5 seconds ahead of Ryan Booth, who's running second in the classification overall, but he is not second in the L1 class. Richard Fant is running second in the L1 class. And Tristan is really keeping a nice, comfortable lead here as he rounds turn 3, heading into turn 4, and about to enter the snake portion of Virginia International Raceway as we approach 6 minutes remaining in this race.
Yeah, you can see every once in a while here, Tristan is still sliding the car around and driving extremely hard, which I think he's only got one speed, and that is always rabbit. You never see him put it into turtle. If I were him and I was sitting here in first place, that far ahead of second place, and actually even farther ahead of the true second place guy, I would be making sure that the car is under me at all times. But if you look right there through the oak tree corner,
still sliding it through.
That's exactly right. So good for him. He's still pushing it.
Yeah, he is actually 23.9 seconds ahead of the second place L1 car, Richard Fant, the Ferrari of Houston entry. So, he's really got this push. And Mikhail is getting around Alan Wilzig, and Mikhail is up into 5th place overall. That is 4th place in the L1 classification. He's got one more spot to get.
Just one more spot. He's keeping his nose down. We got about 5 minutes for him, and I think that's the car on our screen, that silver car right in front of him of Richie Holt. No.
Yes, that's Richie Holt.
Okay,
right,
that is
the 29 car of Richie Holt, the white and blue car.
White, okay.
Going around turn 4 right there. Mikhail has got to get around Richie Holt if he wants to extend his championship hopes, as we watch the number 5 car of Scott Tucker lapping his rival in the overall L2 championship, Alan Wilzig. Scott Tucker looks like he's going to put Alan Wilzig a lap down here, so Scott Tucker is going to really pick up some points on Wilzig.
Yep. It looks like Alan's car has some dirt on the front. I wonder if he may have gone off earlier in the race, or maybe damaged something on his car. But certainly got to be very very tough for Alan to see his rival put him a lap down.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit demoralizing.
That's the
as
word.
We see Mikhail Goetberg has caught the 29 car of Richie Holt. If Richie Holt cannot hold off Mikhail Goetberg, not only will Richie Holt drop off that last podium step in L1, but he will allow Mikhail Goetberg to extend this points chase on Richie Holt's teammate.
Yeah, that's right. They are teammates.
Tristan Nunez.
Yep. So, I know that you got a chance to talk to Brent tonight, and I'm sure that he said there are no team orders. And it looks like Mikhail is quite a bit faster than Richie, but I'm sure that the team would go wild if he could keep him off for another 3 minutes.
Yeah, now, of course, Richie Holt is running second overall in the Masters classification in this race, so he's got a Masters championship to try to preserve. Also, there's a lot of dynamics going on here. Richie Holt's going after his own Masters L1 championship, so he doesn't want to risk getting black flagged for blocking or forbid hitting Mikhail Goetberg, and they both end up going out. It could get very very touchy, and so Richie Holt runs his own race. He's running his own championship, and Mikhail is now in 3rd place L1 position, 4th place overall. So it looks like by 1 point, as they currently run, 1 point difference, this will get extended to round 13 at Petit Le Mans.
Wow, that's great. It's good to see. I'm sure that's Mikhail's team is telling him, yes, okay, now keep going, see what else you can get. He's only got 2 minutes to do it, and I'm not sure exactly how far up the next guy is. I don't see him in the picture there, but I'm sure he's very relieved to at least have gotten all the way back up there after those 2 spins and passing what seems like 100 cars today.
Mikhail Goldberg's fastest lap to this point was a 150.990 as we're on board with Tristan Nunez going around Oak Tree. He's catching up lap traffic. His teammate, number 96 Golden Black car of Danny Mancini, as well as the Wilzig Racing L2 car of Alan Wilzig. He's got some lap traffic to get through, so he's got to be a little bit careful. This is a one-line track in a lot of areas, and he's approaching them at roller coaster. So as we're on board with Tristan, as he's catching up to Wilzig, he pulls right up on the rear of him and gets around him. So a little bit of heads up there. Alan Wilzig watching for the faster car of number 16 Tristan Nunez coming through as Nunez comes around to complete another lap here with 1 minute and 9 seconds.
There's the white flag. It should be the last lap coming up. And he's approaching Danny Mancini here. His teammate, I'm sure that he sees him, and I'm sure that the team is telling him, hey, Tristan, the leader, is coming up behind you. Make sure that you see him, give him room, and I'm sure that Tristan will be grateful if he could let him by. Maybe, yep, just leaves the door open there and says, "Go ahead, son."
Yeah, as a round turn 3, Tristan's still fighting that car. Tristan only has 1 speed, and that is all out. Using the curbs, coming around Snake here at Virginia International Raceway. As we see the L2 leader, number 5, Scott Tucker, Tristan Nunez approaching in the background. So we have the 2 leaders here virtually back-to-back for their individual and respective classes as Tristan comes up through the S's here at the gorgeous Virginia International Raceway.
He's got about a half a lap to put together here. It doesn't look like he's got any traffic in front of him. Beautiful race so far. He's kept all 4 wheels on track, which it looks like there's
still sliding it around.
Wow.
It slides it around Oak Tree.
That's why these cars are so much fun. You can slide them around a little bit, and they just respond so well, and you can correct your hands, and it's a ton of fun to drive.
Yeah, and these cars are not only fun cars, but they are great cars for the budget. I mean, you can really get out here and have some fantastic racing and not spend a ton of the money. I mean, the budget for these cars is a lot less than people think, and these are fast cars.
Yeah,
these
great
cars
venues too.
Yeah, you get professional tracks, professional cars, professional racing, and a professional atmosphere as Tristan Nunez comes around, the winner, L1 classification here for round 12 of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda.
And we're looking at number 5, Scott Tucker, who had a great battle with Benitez earlier, but it looks like he's going to capture the L2 win today, and I believe put himself right in the thick of the L2 championship hunt here. There it is, the checkered flag. Winner, Scott Tucker from Level 5 Motorsports.
Let's take a look at the final results. Car number 16, Tristan Nunez, takes the overall win, followed in L1 by Richard Fant in second and Mikhail Golikberg in third place. The L2 class shows Scott Tucker of Level 5 Motorsports taking the victory, followed by Miguel Benitez in second and Alan Wilzig in third. L1 class points championship goes to Road Atlanta for the deciding round. L2 class is a dead tie at 196, and the L1 Masters is still a toss-up.
Let's go down to Matt, who's got our winner for today, Tristan Nunez.
Hi, we're here with Tristan Nunez, winner of this round from Virginia International Raceway of the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights powered by Mazda. Tristan, fantastic race. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the race.
Well, it wasn't a very comfortable race, the whole race, because I had my teammate Ryan Booth behind me, so he kept me looking in my mirrors. So he definitely pushed me throughout the whole race. It wasn't any time during the race where I was laying back. But the Performance Tech guys gave me an amazing car throughout the race, and I don't know what I'd do without him. They gave me a great car throughout the season. I don't think I've complained about the car once.
Well, you barely missed clinching the championship here, I believe by one finishing spot to Mikhail Golikberg. So it continues on to Road Atlanta. Any thoughts on that?
No, I'm not worried. I mean, I love Road Atlanta. I've been there quite numerous times. I've been there last year with Sean Rahal, that great fellow we had. So it should be a great track for me, and I'm not worried about it one bit.
Well, look forward to seeing the races from Road Atlanta, and your championship hopes continue. Tristan Nunez, winner here at Virginia International Raceway for the Cooper Tires Prototype Lights, powered by Mazda.